So I think that the conspiracy, people who are involved in the conspiracy theories miss out, or I don't know why they don't understand or stumble across the divine aspect of the conspiracy, because, you know, things are never one-sided in that way. And I was kind of fortunate for that to occur, where I didn't stay in that pit for too long, and I was able to look at things in a different light. And I think I attribute that to my guides. They've really helped out in that way, because after I, saw these videos and started to see the world and myself and other people in a different light, it was a long time being in shock. I think I just started to stop fighting more than anything, and start surrendering to the unknown, just to give up everything I think I know for just have a clean slate and to be open. The quote was always haunting me, in a sense, where the one, "There are no limits, just beliefs." I don't know where that came from. I don't think it's mine, but it just certain things in life would happen that would be you're living the concept, "There are no limits, just beliefs." And I would challenge this quote all the time, which I highly recommend you do. You'll have all kinds of adventures, and start to learn just how much truth is stranger than fiction as well. So anyway, the more I start to surrender, the more abilities start to come through, in that I don't know, I could just talk to people and I could see their soul, and I could kind of understand their reason, their incarnation, their mission. I could connect them with their guides. I knew about their other lives as well, not just past lives, but interdimensional lives, life in between lives, multidimensional, many. It was really, really trippy. And after my father passed away, a majority of you know how the story of what happened with me and my father. I posted it in one of my poems or blogs on my Facebook group. I was very angry with him because he wasn't normal, and that he couldn't be a dad, that he was kind of lost to those beings and spiritual work in his book, trying to explain or interpret the messages that were coming through him about how the universe worked. And when my dad passed away, it seemed like I ended up inheriting everything that he had, as if I were to finish his work. And it seemed like, Melissa my sister that passed, handed something to my dad, and my dad handed the baton, to me. And it was really interesting that if you want to speak to somebody who's dear to you that's passed away, there are many techniques aside from mediumship. I would always just call them in my dreams, and they would we could talk about whatever I needed to deal with. And it's also very comforting as well, that they can just appear in that form and talk to you as what you remember them as, but also having this very, very vast divine aspect, since they also are on the other side and understand it now. And I was just informed that they would tell me that I was a guide myself, and that's how I could understand guides so well. I haven't really had many lives on Earth. That I've just been in the etheric for quite some time, and then I finally acquired a body that I'm still like a guide, but this time in the physical. And it just makes a lot of sense to me, because the body is a very bizarre thing to me. I all the time, like, I'm just not used to it, and I don't know how to make that sound normal at all. As much as I try, it just doesn't work. But it's a good thing. Like, I'm like an interpreter, so it's kind of cool. It's different. All right, I can do that. I mean, I was skeptical for a long time, but then I just had so many experiences, and you know, this is my life, and we're all like gardeners of life, and we get to decide how our garden's going to be. And I don't want to be closed to anything. I want to be open to the possibilities as well. I think it's just very important to be open to the impossible if we're going to have like a revolution in our thinking. Like, I think I said this in my last video as well, just like with the Wright brothers, you know, believing in the possibility to fly in a time where flying was impossible, and because they persevered, they, you know, we fly today. And you know, same with Einstein and the theory of relativity. So I'm proud. And I think that it's just very important to encourage as many people out there, because the first video I made, I got a lot of responses from people who, you know, thought they were alone and thought they were crazy, and I just wanted to let them know that they're, I mean, I really understand what it's like to be alone with all this, and it doesn't really, you know, have to be, as people are starting to awaken from their amnesia and recall these divine aspects of themselves or memories of other times coming to them. You know, there needs to be a place where we can just talk, really talk, and not be afraid to share or whatever, you know, and listen unconditionally without judging. I think that's really important, and I think that's really what motivates me to do this. I've had a really crazy journey, and it's hard to talk about everything all at once. I usually just give the basics of what made me salient. I did also want to say a little bit about me when I was working with my guides, like even how it first came about. I was 17, I think, and I was really upset in my room, and I remember saying out loud, like, why does this problem, I can't remember what it is now, why does this keep happening over and over again?